your head on the first day. Well, there goes my job. Also every decent job in the future. RIP bank account. I smell awful. He smells awful. Holy hit, I'm bored. Not for the last time, I'm scared at the similarity between prison and basic military training. No hit. Jail is practically just a more sedentary BCT with less yelling. I think the first thing that went through my mind was, how can I mentally prepare myself to survive this? Then when you get moved to your cell, it changes instantly who's sizing me up. After that, while laying on the bunk, it's I'm going to have a lot of unpaid bills when I get out. So how do you handle the bills? Call someone to help out? Hope you have friends and family that will assist. The one thing you have to realize is the world doesn't stop just because you're locked up. Went to jail for shock treatment and had to stay 2 weekends. 7 AM Saturday to 7 AM Monday. You go in for processing. Get naked. And then spread your asshole and cough. They take you to your cell and you meet your mates. Hopefully they are cool. Most likely will be if you are staying for a short time. Realize there is an actual toilet 2 feet from your bed. This is where people hit. Sometimes while you are trying to sleep. That's the weirdest part. Breakfast is at 5 AM. Saturday night we got to watch a movie. Everyone seems to be friendly during the movie and will yell out funny phrases or catcall when Orexia lady shows up on screen. Short of it is I basically read Louis Lama books the entire time that I borrowed from my cellmate. Also, got the nickname Chainsaw Dave because I grind my teeth when I sleep. They said it was as loud as a chainsaw. Edit, fixed some autocorrect. To answer what shock treatment is. The judge will usually send first-time offenders to jail over the weekends to scare or shock them into not wanting to go to jail again. It worked for me. But I did see a kid from high school there that I knew. We talked and he mentioned that a lot of people don't mind coming back to jail for 3 or 6 months or a year for minor offenses because they have friends in there already and they don't have to worry about responsibility. I wear a mouth guard now. Thankfully I do not have any damage that was ever caused to my teeth. Pretty badass nickname for something so mundane. I won't duck with a chainsaw Dave. There is no way out and I took my freedom for granted. Had the same thought when I was busted for driving with suspended license. I was only handcuffed to the bench and never actually got put behind bars. But I just realized that I had lost my freedom and I took it tremendously for granted. Edit, license was suspended due to insurance lapse. I was just irresponsible, not doing anything malicious. I had to hire an attorney to drop other charges and my insurance doubled and ended up paying about $500 because I had 2 cars and New York City prices suck. When I got my DUI when I was 19. And I had to piss in front of 2 officers, guards, and about 80 inmates. In a Bronx, New York jail cell. That's when I was like, I never want to be here again. Oh, and they had 2 toilets in the general jail lockup, but one was only for Latinos who were on the way to prison. My dad is a storyteller and went to prison 3 times. He got out the first time for 2 weeks before he went back for 2 more years. He got out again before he went back in only days later for violation of parole. He never went back because his new cellmate was an 80-year-old man who told him, "I've been here since I was your age. In case you're bad at math. That's 60 years. I have no chance of parole and I know I'm going to die here. You think being here for however long you're in for is bad? Imagine knowing there's no way out. You best straighten yourself before you end up like me, son." My dad never went back. On an unrelated note, this was the same man who my dad practiced chess with every day for 2 years. I still have yet to beat my dad at chess. Sounds like the plot of every jail movie. Brooks was here. They gave me someone else's withdrawal meds by mistake. Spent the first day in a blessed stupor. What drug did they give you, and how pissed was they guy in withdrawal? Usually for alcohol withdrawal you get benzos, so. I was sentenced to jail for 3 months and did 67 days. Relentless anxiety for the months leading up to it. And then within like 10 minutes of being there I knew it was going to be fine. Walked into a room with like 30 dudes watching The Price is Right. One person I knew from high school. Two people I knew from college. The dorm had a cappuccino, snack, and soda vending machine. Probably like 70% of the people there were barflies doing a couple months for their second DUI. 20% non-violent. Small time. Drug dealers, me. 10% dads who couldn't edit/won't pay child support. I worked in the kitchen for 12 hours a day. Slept for 8. Watched TV for 4. I always boggle at the ducked up modern day debtors prison that puts dads in jail for not paying child support. You can't pay your child support. Well, good luck now, you piece of shit. The logic is amazing. Right? Your kid needs money for clothes and food, but you can't pay, so you're being sent a place where you will continue not being able to pay, and when you get out you will have a hella hard time finding a job. The main loser in this situation is the child. Realizing as the acid wore off that this was in fact not a dream, as I originally suspected, and the stack of previously illegible pages of charges and huge bail sum that I thrown all over the cell was probably important. Wow. This be story time. Here's the abridged version. 19-year-old crazy man, me, takes a massive amount of LSD for his first time. Drinks a hit ton of whiskey and passes out at his fraternity house, then awakens in a dreamlike state and proceeds to wander his university campus around 7 AM in search of a thrilling time. I steal a vehicle from a student attending morning classes and proceed to crash it into some mailboxes and get in a foot race with pursuing officers that ends in a scuffle in a briar patch. I was detained, booked, and placed in the runk tank while still tripping balls. Then admitted to the dorms in the city lockup for a week or so. Honestly, it wasn't too bad, and I played spades and dominoes with the other inmates until I got bailed out by my parents and placed in a wilderness rehab facility. I got put in maximum for felony assault, up to 8 years. After this dude tried to force my girlfriend, now wife, into a bathroom with him at a bar. I only threw one punch, but he wound up falling through a plate window and slicing arteries. After 2 days in holding with people coming down off of all the drugs, meth/heroin, etc., and the transfers trying to start fights with everyone, I got sent to 23-hour lockdown in a pod, which is reserved for violent offenders. One skinhead dude was in on 23 counts of various forms of homicide/manslaughter, so hit got real fast. Cell got tossed at one point and they questioned me. I didn't say hit, which in hindsight was smart, since when my cellmate got back he asked a guy across the way if I said anything. Then he introduced himself to me. After that we were cool, and he vouched for me saying I was in there for some real hit. God knows how long it was before this happened. Hours tick by like days. Time stands still. My cellmate had been in for 2 of his 6 years with repeated trafficking, felony firearm, battery on an officer. Well, got back from a hearing super excited saying, well, if I plead to this or that I should be able to get out in a month. He was dead serious, but inside my head I knew there was no way. Something about his conviction, while staring me dead in the eyes, made me realize that there is absolutely nothing else going on in his head but trying to get out. That night while brushing my teeth, I remember staring at myself in the mirror thinking, I truly believe I'm getting out tomorrow too. That was the most eye-openingly present yet emotionally detached pit of realization I have ever fallen into. I was lucky though. My charges got dropped on self-defense after bar surveillance showed him touching me first, so duck that. I make sure to avoid situations that might put me in that situation. I don't have hit to prove to anyone. It used to be duck cops. Now it's duck jail. I'm never going back. Nearly killed a guy with one punch for trying to ape my girl seems worth some serious cred. One punch. Well, this isn't so bad. Seeing that I was recently homeless, this gives me anxiety. I just got put out today and all I have is my car, which I'm already in trouble for because I have no license and a $500 fine to pay, which I'm months late on. Really hope I don't go to jail. Get on Craigslist and get a general labor job ASAP. First step to stability is cash in your hand. I was in jail, not prison. 1. This sucks. 2. Oh, the people are a lot nicer than I thought. 3. This is gonna be boring. 4. Food sucks. 5. I have to hit in front of everyone. 6. This sucks. That was jail for a month in a large pod. About 30 people on bunk beds in a large open dorm with 2 tiers. No cells, just big dorm. It was life. Some people were assholes, but most were okay. Just trying to pass the time while doing their time. Played chess. Worked out. Did some writing. The books were all like middle school level though and very uninteresting. My experience exactly. Scared little 21Y/Omi was hitting bricks as I carried my little tub of underwear and toothbrush etc. down the hall to the pod. Put on a stoic face and marched right to my bunk. Set myself up and realized that this was gonna be boring as duck and nobody was gonna duck with me. Lucky. You got a bunk and underwear. The lovely guards would make fun of us sleeping on the floor. I knew better than to say aloud there are 18 beds and you have 41 of us in here. I counted both. Completely alone apart from the camera on the ceiling. Kept feeling like I had massively ducked up over something so petty. My mind was racing so nothing made sense. Couldn't figure out how to flush the toilet. Couldn't sleep because I felt like I was being watched. Basically nothing. But my mind wouldn't shut up. I was terrified and cried a lot. I was in a holding cell for 2 hours after stealing from GameStop when I was 11. The game was returned. No charges were filed, and my criminal record is clean. Looking back, I think the police did it to scare me. It worked. What game? Big rigs, over the road racing.